Continue with the last video. See if there are any peers in the media, and they are the top 3 peers. And our associated merchants. Test visitor target customer turnover keywords. Let me walk you through it again. All the big companies he does marketing is a system. So they're the fastest to succeed, right? So these big companies, they have a very strong information organization, and they will never spend money. So if he wants to place an ad in a newspaper, he must have passed the test of our marketing philosophy. He doesn't advertise when it doesn't work. If you find a hat with the top 3 ads in your industry, explain what? That means there's fish in that pond. Does that make sense? Those better than you, he would fish here. That means there's a catch in here. Because our business thinking said, if he is here to invest in advertising is not profitable, he or not to invest? He doesn't. If I can keep pitching. Explain what? The explanation is to make money. Money behind only means that there must be a lot of potential customers behind the media. That's why we call it follow strategy. Do you know what follow strategy is? Where do the top 3 of our competitors advertise? We will advertise there. Can you understand this one? And then there's this whole marketing concept called payment marketing. There are several metrics for payment. The first is called arrival rate. What is arrival rate? For example, do you have a public account, and will you tweet articles? You may have 100,000 followers on your public account. Is it possible for 100,000 people to receive an article you tweet? Assuming 100,000 people get it, that's a 100% arrival rate. 90,000 people getting it is 90% arrival rate, right? It's just like sending an email, isn't it? The first one looks at the reach rate, and the second one looks at the open rate. Let's say, I sent you an email and you opened it. How many people out of 100 open it? What do you call that? This is called the opening rate. Can you make sense of that? If we advertise on the website is not a lot of. At this time may depend on his exposure is how much. How many people actually see the ad is called exposure. And then how many people click on this ad? What is it called? This is called clicking. After clicking in, how many people are willing to read and submit the order? What's that called? Conversion rates. Any questions? So how do we calculate this number? So watch your pennies. Does Baidu cast advertisement to have effect now? Baidu advertising or effective, but why some people in Baidu advertising will spend a lot of money? For example, we have a student who sells used cars, but he sells used trucks. You are in Baidu above cast used car. Have anyone point used car point come in? But excuse me, he wants to buy a used car. He wants to buy a car. You click on your website. You look at the truck and it's gone. So you didn't spend your money. So why aren't you advertising well? Because your keywords may not be accurate enough. If you invest in a second-hand car on Baidu, you may hit 1,000 a day. So maybe 100 of those 1,000 people are at most looking to buy a used van. Isn't it? But if you say it there, the key word you are buying is used van. The turnover rate is higher. So we need to measure protection. Understand it? And then at this point we can figure out how much a click costs. Suppose that a click costs 1 yuan, 100 people click to spend 100. After 100 spent, how many people will come in the transaction? The transaction can bring us how much money? At this point we can figure out how much money we can make with a $100 ad. If you spend 100 yuan advertising money to earn back not 100 yuan, can you do this business? The business is out of the question. If we find that we can do it, then so be it. Then keep putting in more keywords. Do you understand me? I had a trainee who was doing speech training. At that time I was the earliest to do Baidu advertising. After my Baidu advertising is finished, I cast 1 yuan for 120 yuan. Is there? That was awesome back in 08. It works so well. And my friend is a speech trainer, and he has spoken at 26 universities in China. I was doing a 21-day Eagle training camp, and he was doing 36 days of speech training like me. Speech eloquence training. He spoke to 26 schools, and he recruited a few. 5. Then he saw that my advertising was effective. He was quite strong, and I learned to write a marketing letter hanging on the network. And then less than a month later. And then he recruited 50 students. 50 students minus the first 5 students. 45 students? He said 3,800, so how much do you calculate? So I called, and I asked him how the admissions were going, and he said he had 50. But it cost $6,000 to advertise. What do you mean? Yeah, he thinks it's too expensive. So I'll shut up. Because only 5 of the 26 colleges you spoke to have 6,000 ads. So it's going to be 180,000. Does that cost $1 to make $30? Isn't it? It turned out that his speech wasn't for another month, and it was another month before he started recruiting students. Did not recruit all the time. How? Because Baidu did not cast advertisement. You did not have. Later I saw that his training only had 50 students teaching. After the lesson, the man was very clever, because he knew how to criticize himself. Then he had someone make a CD of his speech. Then also cast advertisement on Baidu to sell. The next year, he invested $20 million in advertising and got $40 million back. Are you with me? Because he summed it up. Found this to be valid. What keywords would you buy for speech training? Speech, eloquent speech training, lecturer training. Basically, these are the keywords to buy, right? But do these keywords have high click-through rate, or low click-through rate? There are only so many people searching in a day. Why was he able to spend 20 million ads a year? He bought all the weather reports. Why is that? Because he had worked out a set of equations. Throw in a piece of advertising money. I can get at least 2 pieces back. Do you understand this one? So he closed his eyes and dropped 20 million ads that year. And I got $40 million back. This can make the business a game of numbers and money. So you have to learn to take calculated risks. You know the concept. So be sure to buy small ads in big media. It makes more sense to buy keyword ads and pay for results.